Hi, this is Joe Stagner again. Welcome to the second video in the Dynamic Data video series. In the first video, we built a demo where we very quickly used Dynamic Data to generate the scaffolding for a complete web application using the Northwinds database schema. And I emphasized a couple of times in that video that the code generation aspect is just one piece of what Dynamic Data provides the developer. So I'm going to expand on that in this video by showing you that while it looks like there's a lot of code generation that happens, in fact there's only a little code generation that happens, and the rest is this rich templating mechanism. So we're going to in this demo just jumpstart editing the templating mechanisms that are provided by Dynamic Data. So let's go ahead and open the project that we built in the previous video, and what we're going to do here is we're going to modify the list view. Now remember, the list view is a control, so this list view by default, unless we choose to change it, which we can do, the list view, or in this case our list.aspx page, which provides the list view for each of the tables that we specified in our data context, is used to display a list of the records that are returned from the dataset. Now, in our case, we're just going to go and notice that there's no table-specific logic in here. So what I can do is, wherever I want to change the output for all of the tables, I can go ahead and add some codes. So here, there's a footer section, which is actually the bottom of the header section of our table display. So I'll add that. Another thing that I might want to do is notice here that this is for the editable section of the grid view, and maybe I want to change the way that this template works. So this is a standard grid view, and so any of the modifications that you could make to a grid view that you're using anywhere in your application, you can make here. For example, let's suppose we want to add an alternating template, and of course we want to display the same data. And you might not. You might want to do something different on alternating rows. I don't know. But I'm going to go ahead and just cut and paste so the same fields exist. And here I'm going to let's add a div where I specify a style, and inside the style we'll just say the background color is aqua, and then we'll go down to the bottom of this alternating style template and pop that in. Now one hint, so notice here that we're editing the list.aspx page, but just to save yourself a little frustration, you want to go ahead and mark the default.aspx page as the start page. And if you don't do that, if you just hit F5 while you're editing the list.aspx page, you'll actually get a runtime error because this is a template. The template is data driven, so it's driven based on this appears based on whatever item you click on in the list of tables that are available in our application. So if you try and run it directly, the needed parameters that include the table name aren't provided, so you get an error. So just to save yourself a little frustration, go ahead and mark the default.aspx page as the start page. Then I can go ahead and run our project. And we'll get the default.aspx page, which includes the list of tables. And then I can go ahead and click on one of those. And in the list that gets displayed, notice a couple things. Right here is some of the static text that we put in. So that was just markup. You can add any markup that you want. Of course, the look and feel of this. So the sort of the blue header tinting here, and the navigation buttons down here at the bottom, which you get for free by default. These are all part of actually two things. One is the colors are all determined by the CSS file, so you can write any CSS that you could write in any other application that you wanted to. The other thing is in terms of the graphics that are used. The graphics that are used are held here in this content folder in this images section, so you can change those. So again, highly configurable. Now the other thing to note here is that I mentioned that we were going to add an alternating style for the edit delete details control section of our data grid, and we've done that as well. And now notice, so we're here in the products table, right? So remembering that we're here at the products list.aspx. But if we want to back up and go select a different table, so let's look at the customers table. Note we have the same thing. The table templating has been picked up from that list because, again, now we're at customers list.aspx, but that list.aspx page is the template for all of the tables in our application until we tell our application that it should use a different page template for a specific table. So that's how we can edit the page templates. Let's also go and take a quick look at maybe editing a field template. So let's suppose we want to edit the text edit field. So I'm going to go in, and here is our text box, right? And remember, we saw this in the previous video. So this is the control template for the edit state of a text box, and this is applied to all the text box fields at edit time for all of the tables in our application. So we've got a text box control, required field validator, regular expression validator, and a dynamic validator. Let's just change the text box. So here, I'm going to scroll over a little bit, and here I'm gonna hack this for a background color. Definitely you want to sort of make these sorts of changes in CSS wherever possible. I'm just going to do this for demonstration purposes. So I'm going to set the background color equal to aqua. Right, so now text boxes, when we're in edit mode, because this is the text_edit control template, will appear with an aqua background. So let's go ahead and fire up the application again. Let's go into products. Select the Edit tab, and now you'll notice that our text fields, not our numeric fields, but our fields that are defined as text, have the aqua background, right? And there are two on this page, so both have an aqua background. If we back out and go to a field other than products, let's go to suppliers, for example, and go into edit mode. The text fields here are all with the aqua background. So that's just a really quick look at getting started with editing the page and the text templates, but the field templates. But hopefully you look at that and you realize, wow, that's really powerful that I can, in this one place, I can make all of these changes to the code that I start with to, at a granular level, determine how I want a page to look, how I want my grids to appear and behave, how I want my specific field handling to work. And of course, in subsequent videos, I'll show you how you can get very granular, where you can say, hey, I want to use a different template, a page template for this particular table. So maybe for the products table, I want to divert from the standard list.aspx file and use a custom one. And the same for field templates. I might want to say, in certain circumstances, I want to modify or even use a different field template for a particular table. But this gets you started doing some general editing, and then we'll drill down into the details of replacing the defaults rather than modifying the defaults in a subsequent video on dynamic data.